Then there's this. Inmates in Washington state getting the COVID vaccine before other at-risk groups. Jason Rantz is with us. He's a Seattle radio talk show host. What do the people of Seattle and the people of Washington state think about this?
Well, reasonable people are outraged by this. I mean, right now we've got a significant shortage, like so many other states, of these vaccines, where you have people who are over the age of 65 who are eligible to get them, but they can't get appointments. We've got grandmothers who live in unincorporated parts of the state who don't have easy access to the internet, who aren't able to even schedule an appointment. And yet here we are, we've got about 270 over the age of 65 who are in jails, including Gary Ridgway, a serial killer who says he killed over 80 women, who is now most likely going to get that vaccine before your grandmother or grandfather. It's pretty outrageous, but it's being done in the name of equity in a state that likes to pretend that someone who is serving jail time for serial killing is equal to a grandma who at the most maybe clipped too many coupons and double couponed illegally, I guess.
Well, that's sarcasm, Jason, but we'll let you get away with it on this particular occasion because it's a serious story. I want to move on to this. Lawmakers in Washington state, they're considering a wealth tax, which I've seen it. It takes direct aim at multi-billionaires like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos. They all live in the Seattle area. I would have thought that if you get this kind of billionaire tax, they move, don't they?
They do. So we're talking about a billionaire tax, and it hits about 100 or so people in the state of Washington. It's on intangible financial assets. We're talking about traded options, futures contracts, stocks, and bonds. It does not hit income. And again, they're pitching this as an equity play. We live in a state where we have a high sales tax, and so they're saying because we have a regressive tax structure, which we do, that this will sort of even out the playing field. But that's not at all what this does, because as you'll note, as someone who's read the actual bill, they don't include any deduction of taxes for the people who otherwise are being hit. This doesn't actually help folks who are low income. In fact, at the same time as they're making this pitch that this saves the low income folks, they're also raising the gas tax upwards of $1 per gallon. All this is a continued attack on the wealthy. It's a continued pushback against big business. And all this is going to do is beget future taxes. You go after the billionaires right now, which is constitutionally dubious. But then next year, you go after the millionaires.
This has got nothing to do with raising much needed revenue. It's got everything to do with beating up people who've made some money, the rich. That's all it is. And it won't raise that much revenue either. Last 20 seconds to you, Jason Rantz.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, let's be clear. It obviously does raise some money. But the problem is all the money that comes into Washington state, we went into the pandemic with record revenue that was squandered. The Washington state Democrats didn't save any of it. They spent all of it. And then we get hit with the pandemic, and now they're doing some cleanup.
Jason Rantz, great to have you on the show. Come back soon. We appreciate you being here.